Hi, I'm Dr. Jon Dabach, and today we're going to be learning life lessons from divorce, from a woman who's been divorced. We're going to watch this video and we're going to chime in. And I love learning from people who've been through the thick of it. There's usually so much to uncover, so much to learn. And before we watch the video, before I press play and we watch it together, I want you to click like and subscribe so that you can get more videos like this and improve your life and your relationship and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life and relationship in your world. Okay, let's take a look.
What is a time where you felt that you failed that you learned a valuable lesson from?
That's such a hard question. Getting divorced was a big lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come? What happened?
For a long time, like in your 20s and 30s, like getting married was a big goal, and I got married. And then I realized that that's not everything. Mm-hmm. And what I learned through being married was that knowing who you are, knowing your values, and knowing your non-negotiables is so much more important than anything else. Mm. It could be more important than the person that you love. And that was a huge lesson for me.
So do you think you didn't know yourself before getting married?
I think I didn't really know how important my values were to me before I got married.
What is true love like, in your opinion?
When I find out, I'll let you know.
Why did it not work, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I wanted it to work so much that I was willing to overlook aspects of him and myself that didn't align with my true values. And that's why it didn't work.
Really, really insightful stuff. I think she's talking mostly about two things. One, boundaries. And two, what she's asking, the person's asking her, what is true love? I think I can kind of answer both. So boundaries are huge in a relationship. And the truth is that the younger you are, the less likely you have the skill set in understanding your own boundaries and how to examine them. And even less likely, more so than that, is how good you are at communicating them. So a lot of people don't take time to really figure out what those non-negotiables are, right? That's what she's talking about. That's a boundary. We often have unwritten boundaries in our relationships. The one that is most obvious for most people is don't sleep with other people. If someone crosses that boundary, then there's going to be hell to pay, right? But what people don't understand is that boundaries exist in every different aspect of your life and your relationship. They can exist in the way that you approach finances, the way you approach how much affection you want to give or receive. Your boundaries can also exist in how many children you want or if you want children. And you'd be surprised how many people don't ask themselves these questions. So if I were to give you advice as a couples counselor who's dealt with well over 3,000 couples at this point, the areas you should be asking yourself, where are my non-negotiables? Ideological, spiritual, religious. You should ask yourself, am I someone who needs that in my relationship? And if not, if my partner is going to push that on me, where are the lines where I don't want to cross? Another one is sexual. How much sex you want, how much sex you're willing to give. And that is independent of what you need emotionally to give it. If you're the kind of person where even if you're happy, if you're at your peak love emotionally, if you're completely fulfilled and you still only want sex once a month, you need to know that about yourself. It's a very low sex drive, but you need to know that about yourself. So sex, ideological, parenting or family structure, affection, how you want to be affected, and also teamwork. Those are the areas you should focus on. Do you expect your partner to help with the household chores? Do they expect it of you? And is that a no, right? Is that a hard line for you? You want someone who's going to be on the even playing field? Some people are fine saying, I don't care if my partner does all the child raising and makes all the decisions, or I don't mind if I do all of it, right? But a lot of people, most couples know we have to be on the same page and these are decisions we make together. Another really, really firm boundary, just one last tidbit, is where you live. If someone says they want to live on a farm and you want to live in the middle of Manhattan, I hate to break it to you, that's never going to work. You can't half live in Manhattan and half live on a farm. Both require kind of full time. So those are big boundaries that you should look for in your relationship. Now, the second thing is how you communicate those boundaries. You can't just come up and say, hey, here are my boundaries. You need to know that these are non-negotiables and and that's it, and you take it or leave it. That's not the right way to communicate them. You have to present them as non-negotiable, absolutely. When you know the hard line, you need to communicate them as non-negotiables. But the compassionate way to do it is to ask them how they feel, right? So if you know that you want sex a certain amount of times a week or a month, you have to say, hey, let's talk brass tacks here for a sec about sex and how often you really want it, and not be funny and jokey and say, oh, every day. Really, what's the minimum that you feel like you're going to get and still be happy? And I have an answer for myself, but I want to know yours. And start trading and get to those deal breakers as quickly as you can, because that is going to be things that you can't fix. There are two types of problems in relationship: the ones you can fix, the ones you can't. And if you run into one you can't and you have no solution, get out of the relationship. That's the right thing to do. Now, I'll just give you a quick answer on what true love is, because she said, I don't know. I'll let you know when I find it. True love to me is when you know your boundaries, you have everything in life, you're self-sufficient, you don't need a relationship, and yet you want to be in one. And the other person feels the same way. When they don't need it and you don't need it, but you choose to be together anyway because you enjoy each other's company, there's sexual attraction, and there's a sense of teamwork. When you have that, that is in essence the root of pure love. It's a much bigger spiritual concept than that, but that's the essence. I hope you found this helpful. Again, my name is Dr. Jon Dabach. On the screen, you'll see 2 other videos that might just save your relationship from imploding. See you next time.